What's going on, YouTube? This is BBSP. I wanted to, it's been a while. I've been back here. You know, I like to sit on thoughts, observe other videos, and make my own assessment of everything. You know what I mean? Formulate my own opinion of things. From other YouTubers, whether I agree or disagree with it. And I basically take my time making videos and I take a couple days to assess, evaluate, and come up with a proper conclusion as to you know my side of the argument. But I wanted to do this particular video because I think this whole charade with Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith, aka Stephen A. Snitch, I'm thinking it's running its course. And the reason I say that shit is because you got to think what's been happening with them the past couple weeks. The past month exactly. Ratings for Undisputed and especially First Take really haven't been all that great. And that's what happens when you regurgitate the same watered down topics, the same washed up conversations where you're basically being biased and you're showing favoritism towards certain shit, right? People eventually get sick and tired of that shit, you know? And no more prevalent than this week, especially with Stephen A. Smith. Now, Stephen A. Smith has offended a whole lot of people within the certain communities, namely the Asian and the African community. First and foremost, he basically offended the Nigerian team when they beat Team USA. Saying that he didn't know their names and saying Team USA should be embarrassed for losing to a bunch of players from another foreign country who can't even pronounce. He said he can't even pronounce their names, and Team USA should be ashamed because they lost to a whole bunch of no-name Nigerians, who probably haven't played professionally in this country, whatever. It was somewhere along the lines of that. Somewhere along the lines of that shit, right? But that was the only thing, that he put himself in hot water, He also pretty much offended the Asian community, you know what I mean? And baseball is very prevalent in the Asian population, especially with the Japanese. And the statement that this clown said on TV, actually said this shit on TV, saying that the third baseman, first or second baseman, Shahai Otani, said he can't be the face. It's troubling for for the Major League Baseball that it's troubling for Major League Baseball. I can't quote for what he said word for word, but I'm gonna try my best what he actually said. Because, like I said, I don't watch that garbage. I don't watch that bullshit. He said it along the lines of it's a bad look for Major League Baseball for have a Japanese player like Shahani Otani as the face of the MLB because he need a interpreter or some shit like that. But yeah, this guy, this dude, man. If there's anything such thing as a token black dude, he should be the poster boy for that shit because of the things that he's done, things that he said the past several years, the way that he moves. It's just that he's the usual buck dancing, tap dancing shucking and jiving Uncle Tom now, and you can just tell by the fervor, by his delivery that he's basically an Uncle Tom now, and it's always been like this with Stephen A. Snitch, you know. The guy's dishonest, the guy's a liar, the guy's a snake, and the guy tries to push his own narrative and bullshit, you know. And I'm not even surprised that First Take is suffering in ratings. And basically, he count down to his masters behind the scenes, his white suppressors, his white oppressors. He basically count down to him, basically apologizing to the Asian community, but has yet to apologize for the Nigerian statement. See, that lets you know right there that our people can be easily savvy and easily bought. We can be easily manipulated and influenced by the wrong forces out here, man. Because like they said, money talks and bullshit walks. And Stephen A. Snitch is the bullshit walking right now. As far as Skip Bayless, this guy, I don't know what this motherfucker's problem is, man. Like I said, I don't consider Skip Bayless to be anything of relevance, anything noteworthy and shit. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, Skip Bayless stopped being a journalist over 20 years ago, okay? A lot of his takes are basically trolling, professional trolling, and, pretty biased bullshit. You know what I mean? And you're not going to get a very honest, sincere argument from him, man. We all know that shit. So, we all know that. So, like I said, in this recent act he done pulled, like, they had a 5 to 10 minute topic on a goddamn Space Jam movie, a goddamn kids film, to where it should be any relevance except for the people that want to watch that shit, namely teenagers and pre-teenagers that's going to be entertained by that movie. They actually had a topic on that shit yet again, comparing LeBron James and Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's obsession with LeBron James is like, it's becoming unhealthy, straight up unhealthy and bullshit. The guy, it's just the whole angle he's been doing for the past 15 years. The shit is getting old. All right, shit is getting old. Okay, and the bullshit that spews out of Skip Bayless's mouth, you can't take seriously no more, man. Because the guy, like I said, he's not even a journalist, man. Very few people within the journalist industry mention him, unless he was attached to a story that happened years back. The whole Troy Aikman fiasco, the entire time he worked at the San Francisco Chronicle and all that shit. Was it the San Francisco Chronicle? I knew he worked at Chicago Sun-Times at one point, but yeah, the only time you mention you hear Skip Bayless' names outside of this trolling and bullshit, is if somebody brings up an old article or old story that came up, years back. But like I said, man, both these guys, if I'm be honest, 5 years from now, I don't see neither one of these dudes in the public eye. And it wouldn't surprise me. LeBron recently said he was going to play for another 4 years exact. And how old is Skip Bayless, right? Skip Bayless, isn't he like 71, 72 and shit? Nah, I don't know. But point is, don't be surprised once LeBron calls it quits for good, right? Skip Bayless follows. Because, like I said, he's built this whole he built this whole platform diminishing and discrediting LeBron James. And nobody can tell me otherwise, man. Among other people. You know what I mean? So, like I said, with the recent decline in ratings of both First Take and Undisputed, to be honest, Shannon Sharp is the only redeeming quality of Undisputed. I bet you put any other guy on First Take, well, Undisputed, like punk ass Rob Parker and that president's ass undercover, anybody. President's ass Doug Godley or punk ass, retarded ass Rob Parker, that show would have been off the air. Shannon Sharp is what make First Take. I mean, Undisputed. He's the guy that draws in the audience. And like I said, I'm telling you, man, the jig might be up for both of these motherfuckers, man. And wouldn't surprise me. 5 years from now, both these guys are out there pitching. Because it's only so long that people can buy into the bullshit and all the fake ass narratives. But let me know what y'all think.